So we're live, right? Welcome to BS with TG.
You're starting right now?
Yeah, motherfucker.
Okay.
It's past 12, I'm prompt. So this is BS with TG, coming live to you from Deluxe, sitting here with Jim Thiebaud, and we're gonna rant and rave and shoot the shit. All three of you watching live, thanks for tuning in. And it's gonna be an exciting show today, because people, I tell you, this is America, and America's exciting.
All right.
So
have you had any cilantro since the last
Fuck off, Jim. Do I ever eat cilantro?
Okay.
We're gonna start the show out. How about that? If no one's watching, is this show on, right? What's the sound of one hand clapping? Aren't you supposed to be wearing your mask, Jim? Yeah. Sick boy? Yeah. Today, we have a very, very special guest, longtime friend of mine. So we're gonna bring in my buddy Orb. Orb! Dude, where's the applause?
Give the applause.
Let's hear it.
Good. Fine oiled machine.
Oh, well.
Where's the applause, Christian?
There we go. So it's a bunch of kids yelling at him. There's a whole bunch of kids in the hallway and they're waiting to get in, and you know, we are brain surgeons. Everyone, welcome Orb to the show. Orb, thanks for being here and actually taking the day off work, which is even funnier because the fact that you have a job is quite interesting. Yeah, thanks for taking the time, and I think we're just gonna kind of run down the history of how we know each other. I mean, this is like a 7-hour show, to be honest. We went to school, high school together, McAteer. Yeah. Which was a frightening school. I'm a year older than you guys, right. So I was there before, and I went to school with Bryce Knights.
That's right.
He was a senior, and I was a freshman.
And we were skating in Noe Valley.
Yeah.
So we didn't know your whole scene. We had to obviously be friends because we were skaters.
Because there wasn't 10 million skaters. There was like 5.
Yeah, everybody else was a jock or a Boston fan. I don't mean the Celtics, I mean the rock group.
That's right. So that's kind of how we came together, but Rainbow Skates was a skate shop where you totally localized, and then Carlos opened up Fogtown.
Fogtown, right.
There we go. Right. And that's where we really became tighter, a tighter crew.
Yeah. Well, you got to hang out with Fish and Cooksey and all the older guys, and we weren't allowed to go anywhere that you guys skated.
Yeah.
Although they fucked you up a bunch of times.
All the time.
I mean, remember the photo on the wall?
Oh yeah.
Where you passed out like cigarettes in your nose? You wrote, "With friends like you, who needs enemies?" Yeah. But you're like, you weren't awake for that, I don't think.
No, I was not. And that was, that was my friends. Yeah. That's kind of how we met, through the skate shop and through high school. Really, that's my recollection when we started doing the Helter crew and all that stuff. Just a stupid crew of skaters. That was pretty fun. We had a good connection early on.
Sure. I guess. I actually got a job. My first job was a block from his house. Yeah. During high school, we'd like go and have his brother buy us beer and just skate on this little bump in front of your house for like 7 hours, just doing nollies. Yeah. Nollies.
Off this crack.
Nollies.
Yeah, just
didn't even go down the block,
just hanging out. We skated the hills a lot together, and that's when it kind of took off. Like, we're skaters, we skate together, this is our crew, and that's when we started having those little adventures, you know. Orb always had the craziest slang, and I somehow understood some of it, and so we would just riff on it and bullshit, and that's how all the stuff like from Animal Chin happens, like watching too many cartoons and commercials. That's where most of that shit is from. As far as my recollection and understanding and knowledge of 43, it came from Orb, and this is over 30 years ago. Tell the story of how you first became aware of it, and I think enlightened the rest of our community, at least.
I'll tell the story of where my mind came up with the number being magical, but the camaraderie of skating, I think, made it spread.
Totally.
And just because I was around you guys, blurting out, I mean, I could have been saying corned beef, although I was saying corned beef quite a bit. There was a corner store market that we used to call in San Francisco, and we'd go down a list of items we'd ask this old man for, and he was Arabian. Do you have this product? Do you have? And then in the end, we'd always say, like, do you have watermelons? Which no corner store ever has. Why would a corner store in the Sunset have a watermelon? I mean, he would flip out. He'd lose his shit and just cuss us out in Arabian. I end up going there, and he's charging 43 cents. For sodas, when everyone else, as a kid, you know how much a soda costs, is 40 cents. Yeah. And I realized it must be some sort of conspiracy because the sound of 43 is so much more magical than 40, right?
Yeah.
So like, you know, I obsessed about it. I didn't even know you guys yet. And then when I met you guys, I guess it was part of the gibberish, you know? And
When you prank called him, didn't you ask him if he had these items and how much they were?
that was pre-43 conspiracy. This was just early aggravate corner store owner type of stuff.
Yeah. What was the one classic line that he would say at the end of the phone call?
We eventually manipulated him to saying, I have hairy cucumber for you to eat.
What?
We'd ask for like basic stuff and then watermelons or cucumbers, and he'd say, I have hairy cucumber for you to eat.
With
a little southern twang.
Yeah. So he picks up on this idea that 43 is a conspiracy, right? It's
a magical number, I guess. I mean,
it appears everywhere, as we all know now. Like you see it, or maybe you're more aware of it. Who knows? We always knew Orb was doing these no complies, but he would do 180 no comply off the flat. So it was like an ollie, pop off your foot, 180. And I had never really seen anyone doing them at that time. So he sort of coined it as a 43. Like when you would see someone do it, you would say
43.
And so it became like this kind of inside joke and heckle.
People in other parts of the United States had totally different names for it, right?
That's the history of 43 as we know it. And this is before we met. So this is 35.
Late 70s.
Yeah.
I can't say I invented it. It's like a mini heckle, I guess. We didn't name the trick that, I don't think. It wasn't really named that.
This just in, hot off the press. Hold on, Orb. Breaking news. You dropped something. And that's another one.
What we do, we'd drive around and we'd see people and we'd say, you dropped something. But then we'd yell tuna, which has no connection to reality.
I don't know.
I don't know what it meant. I thought you guys did. I had my first car and we just cruised
all this
around.
is based around just sarcastic assholism. Let's move forward. And now, a word from our sponsor. And today's sponsor is Real Skateboards TG Socks. I sponsor my own show. The raddest thing about these, the board and the capsule come with an ice pack. And the idea is that when you slam, because you will, because you're old, because the only people watching this are old, you're gonna put the ice pack in here, apply it to your groinal area. These are actual socks. And we would like to thank Real Skateboard for making this show possible today. And you could have these. You get a prize when you come on our show, too.
Sweet. And I'll put them on immediately.
As you should.
Would you like to try and do it?
Oh, I think it might be time for a cold call.
Oh.
I think, let's see, I got someone here. Cold call, let's see who's around. So we're gonna see if this person answers. Connecting, Saul.
Hey, what's up?
You there?
Yeah.
All right, look who we got today, people.
I'm working.
You're working?
Yeah. Hey, Mecca, can you watch the front real quick? I gotta take this call, I think. I think this is the first FaceTime I've ever done in my life.
This is a cold call, and this is on my show, BS with TG. This is the one of the test versions, and we have Orb, who's one of our special guests here today.
Orb, maps to the skater's home.
That's me.
See? He knows. So you're live actually on YouTube right now. We just wanted to call and say, hey, and I have a question for you. How did you get on Real Skateboards?
How did I get on? Well, I almost really didn't get on because Jeff Clinton told me I didn't have what it takes.
That's awesome.
I think I like followed Jim and Tommy around San Francisco, like licking their balls or something like that.
Whoa.
That's a secret.
I knew about that.
That's a secret.
Mick told me.
Somehow I always ended up at Gold's Gym with Jim.
You guys ended up working out together, and that's how you got on the team?
Yeah, that's how I got on, doing push-ups.
It's a little different now, the process to get on a team.
Hey, Solomon, what are you doing today at work?
May 15th, we're doing a book signing with Glennie Friedman.
Wow.
Oh, he's bringing Ian McKay by today.
Shut up!
Yeah.
Fuck off!
Ian said that we could print a box with his portrait on it.
Bullshit!
So they're coming by today to do the...
Checky, take it easy.
Wait.
They're coming by today to test out the pizza because we're doing a vegan pizza for that book signing.
Dude, I met Ian for my birthday. Did I tell you that story?
No, but someone else did. That's why I wanted to send you a photo later.
Fuck! I gotta send you the photo of me and him sitting on the stairs. Life hammer, dude. Life
Oh,
hammer.
yeah, of course, at the Discord house.
It was amazing.
I really wanted to get over to Artos, but I had to work today, so they're all skating over there right now. They're gonna come here after.
Hey, Saul, don't you own the restaurant?
Do I own a restaurant?
Don't you own Pizzanista?
I do.
Well, aren't you the boss?
Oh yeah, I am.
Can't you just leave?
I wish I could, but dude, check this out. I just found $5.
Well, I'm just gonna say thanks for being on BS with TG.
Okay.
All right, thanks all.
Can you just pre-roll a Monster Energy thing before my face comes up?
Totally.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks all. Later, say bye to Saul.
Bye.
Later.
I guess I should do this more often. I'm not used to it.
It's pretty good, dude. All right.
All right, later.
Later, dude. Thanks.
All right, bye.
Enjoy your
Bye.
meal.
If you have this epic session happening at fucking Arto's pool with Lance and everyone's there, and you're the boss, you own the joint, why don't you just walk the fuck out the door? You're gonna get hit by a fucking bus tomorrow. Saul, get the fuck out of there. Because those are experiences. That's what shapes you and informs you. Those don't happen every day. And they usually won't happen again. But your fucking job will. Right now there's 44 viewers. That's some weird shit. The first time we moved in together was on 9th Avenue.
Yeah.
Like 2 blocks from where my mom lived. That was scary.
The Beastie Boys album just came out, and I was the only one without a job, but I got hired at the restaurant we lived behind. So this guy is smoking a joint outside one day, behind the restaurant, our new apartment. I'm like, what's going on here? I want some of that. So I ran out there, and we met the owner of the restaurant, and he's like, quit your job up the block, and I'll teach you to be a short order cook. I had to work, and these knuckleheads were keeping me up all night, and they're blasting the Beastie record, and I'm all grumpy, but it was such a funky spot. Like the kitchen sink broke, and we just abandoned it.
Oh, top secret. We don't know what's in here, but this is gonna be good.
I'm not looking forward to this.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
Is it my missing front
What
tooth?
is in here? Well, there it is.
That photo.
I knew it. So this is the apartment that we're discussing right now.
That's the whole thing right there, the kitchen.
That's Orb, that's me, and that's Mick. Look at that shit.
Yeah, I was on Star Trek for that night.
Yeah, this is a photo from the first place we lived.
That's like 1986.
And everything in those cups, it's just Kool-Aid. It's
we
Kool-Aid.
were big Jim Jones fans.
Yeah, and
But non-committal, totally non-committal.
Yeah. And look at up on the wall. There's a Venture poster.
That's right, because I was sponsored by Venture.
He got sponsored by Venture.
Rocco was the team manager, and Gons,
and you guys rode for
those two guys
before.
in the same car, room, stadium, hangar.
Jesus Christ.
I don't want to be there. Then we moved to 25th Avenue for like 6 months.
Yeah.
Which was
With
this
Mick
total
again.
disaster of a really nice place. We played quarters, right?
Yes.
In this little breakfast nook, and we had like 40 people stuffed in, just raging. It was totally disrespectful.
Oh,
it was
beyond.
It was terrible.
It was terrible.
It was,
and we were drinking Brass Monkey at that point too.
Yeah.
We knew where to get it.
Yep. Yeah,
And we got kicked out of
we
there.
got booted there,
Yeah.
and then we moved to the House of Manhing Market.
Manhing, which is on 9th Avenue. We moved back to 9th
There's
Ave.
still a Guerrero sticker above the door right this second.
It's
man.
above a Chinese market
heavy.
restaurant
That's a list right there.
as well.
Yeah, with ducks hanging in the window.
Yeah, full on. The one thing about it, it was a huge space. There was an upstairs
your
where my
floor.
room was. I had my own floor.
Shag
but it was
carpet, red shag carpet.
bright
This tall.
red carpet. We had a little bicycle, and we rode it all the way through, from the living room through the kitchen, out the kitchen,
who lived there,
through all the
We
back
had
rooms and back
Mickey,
around.
Me,
Yeah.
and you originally. And you had your own floor.
Yeah, and Luke.
And then you moved out and Luke moved in. Is
that what it was?
Mickey
Okay.
moved out.
Luke Ogden,
photographer, moved in. And then we imported some mutant to live in our kitchen named Danny Sargent.
Yeah, Danny Sargent lived in our kitchen.
Our kitchen was so big and we didn't ever cook.
So Danny Sargent lived in the kitchen. We brought a mattress in, and he moved in, and he was maybe 17. Oh, sorry, Danny, man. We were such a terrible influence. It was a full skate house.
It was Club Manhing.
Yeah, because that's what we called it. Because DJ Paws, old friend of mine in Gadget, set up turntables permanently, and we always had at least one empty keg to bring back to refill.
It was an ugly situation.
It was frightening, but it was a good time. Eric D came and stayed with us. And remember the Englishman came and stayed with us for how long?
Bod, Tony Hawk. I remember puking
Gons used to
off
stay
the
with
back
me.
stairs for like 2 hours, and Hawk was at the house for some reason.
That's perfect. So that was our skate house. So yeah, that was the third house, and then from then it was like.
No, I moved to Venice.
He moved to
I
LA.
split.
Yeah.
That was like 87, 88. I moved down to Venice.
Okay, here it comes. A word from our mystery sponsor. This is part of the show where I reach in and see who our mystery sponsor is for this episode. Well, let's see. Oh, wow. You know what's rad about this? Orb can help talk about this product.
Well, the Peruvian ankle lifter has been used for hundreds of years to ease the HD, PTSD stress of
on your lower area.
Yeah. I mean, what else could you do with this? I mean, it's pretty damn obvious.
Yeah,
Plus,
completely.
This craftsmanship is obviously from north of south of the border.
And the thing is, this has a historical aspect to it that goes way back to the ancient Peruvians. And this is called the
Peruvian ankle lifter. Which is lost in translation, of course.
Yeah, that's right.
It's not coming through.
Yeah.
If we had a native here, which I asked for.
And the name of the company is that we would like to thank.
The Kakalakian ankle lifter.
Extraordinaire. This is the deluxe model. So we would like to thank Kakalakian Ankle Support Systems.
You might find another use for it. I mean, shit. You could put something in there that's just... No?
No. Maybe.
Nothing?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. You could fit this in your ear hole.
If the white man wanted to ruin something, you could probably ruin a Peruvian ankle lifter. But
So let's get back to the show. We're going to talk about Animal Chin.
Maps to the skaters' homes.
And how Maps to the Skaters' Home came to be, which I'm not quite sure, but the thing is, I know we had been friends for so long that when Stacy and all the guys came to San Francisco to film, Orb was brought along. So why don't you tell your side of things?
we cruised around the city and went to a bunch of spots and they were filming. My spazzy reactions may have brought to light,
spazzer hands.
Yeah, some other, the thespian side of Orb.
Well,
what does that mean anyway? Okay, so you had talked to him about putting me in somewhere.
Yeah.
And so I guess he had this idea, but being from here and not Southern California, we had no idea who these guys on the side of the road when you're in Hollywood selling maps to the stars' homes were. No clue. I mean, never seen it, no clue.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like I was working off of that angle.
Yeah.
It was just something Stacy said, which I thought was just odd. So we were like, oh, okay, that's a crazy idea.
Yeah.
And went with it. And it was kind of just complete improv from then on out.
Maps to the skaters' homes. Maps to the skaters' homes. Maps to the skaters' homes. Hey, brother. What are you guys doing? I thought, Mike, how's it going?
Mark.
Can I help you guys with some information on ramps, streets, ditches, curbs? I've got it all here, really. It's my business, and I love it.
I was just trying to be as ridiculous as possible, 100 miles an hour the whole time.
Yeah.
I wanted to be in the damn video. It was just spazzy, youthful, stoked. And then I have you and Lance, Hawk, and Cab skating up. It was a bit overwhelming.
That resonated with
It really stuck.
a massive
It was just natural. That's
amount
all.
of
I can
people.
Just say it was natural.
Oh yeah, completely.
Of course,
because
you
see
may recognize me from my later films, of course, but hopefully I changed thousands of lives.
Every take is different of this guy, and they're all hilarious. So it must have been difficult for Stacy to find those, really specific ones, or that one section where it's like, okay, this one totally worked, because there's a whole bunch, and I was cracking my ass up when I was watching those.
It was a fun
super
thing,
funny.
just not hanging in the van watching the rest of the footage be filmed. Going to Chinatown and
Map to the Skaters' homes, like.
Oh, that was I just asked Stacy because my brain word problem problem. It just made me say homes.
Yeah, of course.
So it just came right out of my mouth.
Yeah.
And I actually saw him light up and go, oh, you're screwy. I have a friend named Stesic. I know how to deal with people like you.
Yeah.
Stacy and his cameraman were like royalty. So it was pretty intimidating, that little bit.
This year is going to be 30 years since Sacto Street Contest, 85.
Right.
And there's that footage of you coming up to me and fucking when I won, and you're like,
oh yeah, that's right, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
30 years ago this year, so that's a crazy one.
That's the last contest I entered, I think.
Good call.
I ollied up the front of the car.
Yeah.
And not as just like ollied over the car.
Yeah. How crazy was that? The city was our skate park. I mean, literally, it was. And we had all the different spots that we would hit. And
yeah.
I mean, we would skate
what else are you gonna
to
do
Embarcadero, and then we'd go skate all the way to the beach and hit the beach curbs and then head home. I mean, we would skate from one end of the city to the other, literally, all the time because San Francisco's so small. I'd follow Julian a lot because he would skate super fast and hit all the stuff
but
too.
But his Venice SF influence,
yeah,
it was like,
yeah.
Oh hi, I'm friends with everybody.
Yeah.
And
there was a contest in Oceanside, and I was planning to get him on Powell. Went down to that Oceanside contest, and that's right when Julian got on Dogtown, and I was just like, so this is called Show and Tell, this section. Is it upright? My mom made this in the early 80s. I'm gonna just rattle off what's on here real quick and I'll show you. So these are all these gigs that me and my brother were in bands and that played around San Francisco and the Bay Area. The main two bands was Revenge and Free Beer, but before both of those bands, I was singing and we were called Jerry's Kids. And this is before, I think the other one's from Boston. This is way before that. This is like 1980. The Mabuhay Gardens, Fab Mab, which is like world renowned, is one of the first venues supporting the punk scene, you know, on the West Coast. 1982, Free Beer with Deadly Rain, Jodie Foster's Army, Code of Honor, and Fear. And this one was the Elite Club on Geary, but the Elite Club is actually the Fillmore. The Fillmore shut down for a handful of years and became a full-on punk club, which is crazy. The Dickies, which is insane, 83. Husker Du, and I remember that was amazing, and Free Beer. We opened up that day at like 10 o'clock in the morning. My brother was wasted. broke his cable, broke his guitar, and oh, it was fucking hilarious. This is our last gig as Free Beer. This is our last gig, and it was 1984. I played bass in all these bands. Everyone thinks I'm a guitar player, but I'm a bass player. This is our last gig, 1984, Suicidal Tendencies, Angry Samoans, and Fang, and Free Beer. Jim Thiebaud was at that show. You broke a friend of ours' nose, right? Stage diving, Knowles.
Yes.
This is my show and tell for the day, history lessons. Thanks, Mom, for making this. We're talking about the casting ponds in San Francisco. I get a text in the morning like, casting ponds are a go, and I'm like, what? Because it hadn't been on my radar for so many years. I couldn't go that day that I found out, and I was just like, fuck, it's gonna be filled. I'm like, whatever, okay, well, I missed it again. I always miss out on shit.
But it's kind of a big deal, man.
No, it's
for the city.
It's huge.
Yeah.
So then the next day, it's still drained. I'm like, there's no way I'm missing this. And we got a crew out there and everything, and that was amazing.
I saw a posting on Instagram, and I got all angry and old and like, get off my lawn, son of it. No one called me and said, don't they know, I live 5 minutes from there.
We're heading to the Casting Ponds, which is a spot in Golden Gate Park that we used to skate, I guess, about 30 years ago when they would drain it. And we just got the word maybe 2 days ago that they were drained. And so you got to hit them really quick because they clean them. And once they clean them, they start filling them up. We're going to meet the fucking concrete.
You come through this bush and you open it, and there it is, like an acre of skatable stuff in the middle of Golden Gate Park. Truly magical.
I don't remember my first time skating there, but it was definitely 30 years ago. It was our crew and then the younger crew too behind us.
It's just, it's a unicorn.
We get there, this time around, there are these three guys who had cleaned it. They didn't look like park and rec cats, but they had the cabin open. So they come up and they tell us, we just painted the lines, we filled all the cracks, so everything's wet. So just tell your friends, just stay off of that stuff. It's totally cool you skate, we get it. And I was like, wow, that is a first, because we used to get chased by horse cops out of there. So after the fact, the guy comes up to me, one of the guys, and he says, hey, it takes us about a half a day with 50 people to clean this and drain it and everything and get it prepped to paint. And he goes, do you think you could get some people out here to help us clean? And then that way you guys could skate. I'm like, you let me know and I'll have 100 people out there that first day and we'll clean it and drain it. I go, half these guys here have cleaned backyard pools to skate them. Just let me know when you're gonna drain them and I'll get a whole crew out there. You guys don't even have to do anything. You can sit and drink your beer and watch us. And it's only a 3 to 4 day window that you have to skate this spot. Pete did a front flip that was like, it was ridiculous. He's got tenacity, he's got grit. I like the kid. Sign him up, Frankie, sign him up.
By the way, I drank your coffee while you were gone.
Well, shit, he didn't need it. So yeah, casting ponds. Till next year, with the drought, I'm surprised they even let them fill it. I was hoping they wouldn't.
Where did the water go?
So this is a section, here we go. This is the section of the show where I get to sound off about things that fucking piss me off. So this is my forum, and if I had a soapbox, I'd stand on it and get all righteous. So today I'm gonna do a little bit about security guards. So first off, I would just like to say I've been chased by security guards for more than half my life, as probably so many of you have as well. To be a security guard, anyone could be a security guard. It takes filling out some paperwork and a total of 40 hours of training to be a security guard. And you basically have the clearance to beat the shit out of anyone you want. To get a permit to carry a weapon as a security guard, a gun, 8 hours in a class, and 6 hours training at the range. That's it. And you can be a gun-toting security guard. But what's fucked up about it is there's no psych evaluation. They do not have to determine whether or not you are mentally capable of dealing with stressful situations and you're loading a deadly weapon right at your hip. And it's justified because he did his 14 hours of training to hold that gun and his 40 hours to become a security guard. That's frightening to me. No psych evaluation, none that determine like this guy's not fit to not only carry a gun or a badge, but probably might be a little fucking crazy and probably should be like put away or on meds. The next time you see a security guard with a gun, think about it. This guy just went and got a gun and a permit. Shit's frightening. So that's my tirade for the day.
That's a great band name, Cilantro and the Security Guards.
Nice.
All right. Thank you, skateboarding.
This has been another not episode of BS with TG. We'll be back around next week with another show and we're gonna refine it, and as we go, and then we'll get ready for the first episode. It's gonna be fucking good times. Thanks to Orb. Thanks to our mystery sponsor, and thanks to Real Skateboards and everyone else. Thanks to you, the viewer.
I'm available for
private dancing.
That's right.
As it should be.